Hey folks, David here at the Crystal-Lac Company, and today we're going to be talking about Crystal-Lac grain filler. Such a unique product used on everything from guitars to countertops, cabinets, just whatever you want to pull the look of the grain away, making it a nice smooth surface without having those divots and creases after you top coat or paint. As always, we recommend giving it a good stir. Now, when working with grain filler or any other product, when you remove the lid, be careful. Could have some dried product up here, as you can see right here on the lid. You don't want that to fall down into the container. Always recommend giving it a good stir to make sure all the product, you can see the consistency of grain filler is about like Jello pudding or something similar. But giving it a little stir, make sure everything's mixed up nice and properly and evenly distributed. You'll notice that it's not clear in its wet state. And as it dries, it'll maintain the color you see here. It's a little grayish color to it. And that'll stay with the project until you top coat it. But just as soon as you put a top coat over top of it, you're never going to see it. So you can tint this to any color you like, and when you hit it with the top coat, you're just going to see the color. You're not going to see the color of the grain filler. My favorite way of using our Crystal-Lac grain filler, because I can actually feel the grains start to disappear as I'm applying this product, I just dip my fingers into it and get me a little bit on there, just like this. I know it looks gross, but it's actually kind of fun. And I'll give it a nice little rub in here, getting all that in there. A little more. It's like it's simple, easy, non-toxic, low odor. You can barely even smell this product. And I'll cover the entire piece. I like to work in sections of about a square foot at a time. Because of dry, it will dry very quickly. And when using this application method, I can actually feel the grains of this pine flooring start to disappear underneath my fingers. Now, it's all coated on there really good. For this next step, you can use a plastic putty knife, an old credit card, whatever you've got handy. I personally grabbed this morning out of my toolbox. It's a bolt measurer. And what I'm going to use this for, I like the way it's flexible and kind of moves around. What I'm going to use this for is I'm going to scrape off the excess of this. Now you can use grain filler one or two ways. See the excess? And I'm just going to put it right back in my container. You can leave that skim coat on there just after I've applied it. Just leave that. Then give it a little level sand. But this technique will force the grain filler down into the pores and grains, leaving the surface fairly smooth. So you don't have to go over it with any sanding. You see what I'm talking about there. Nice smooth application, and it's only in the grains and pores of the wood. You're not wasting any product, right back in the container. Now the second method is with a brush. You can also apply this with a brush. Dip, get your brush loaded up, and give it a nice little coat, just like you're just painting it on. Now, a lot of folks that use our grain filler will leave it just like this and let it dry for a couple of hours. And once it's completely dry, they'll grab their 400 grit sandpaper, fill across it for any high spots. We'll level out some, but this puts a skim coat across the top. Then they give it a nice little sand and get all that level and smooth, giving a complete seal coat and a grain and pore filler at the same time. So nice little skim coat, sand it down with some 400, 600 grit, wipe all the dust off, make sure it's nice and clean. A damp t-shirt or a lint-free rag works great for that. No lacquer thinners, mineral spirits need to be used with this product. You're ready to go in just a few minutes.